Hello and welcome to episode 4 of MADCAST. You're here with me, Liam. We've also got Bezz
Hello.
and Jack.
Hi everyone.
So it's been a couple of weeks since we've done a recording. We kind of came to the conclusion that if we're doing it every week, we had not as much to talk about because obviously there's not a massive amount of new games or anything coming out at the moment. So we thought every couple of weeks we'll try and get a recording done because we've had a few people asking in the Discord and on YouTube when we're planning on doing more episodes of this. So really, it's a catch up on what we've been playing. Obviously, we've had as Series X's now for, is it 4 weeks since it launched?
Yeah, about that. Yeah,
Is it 4 weeks?
Yeah, 4 weeks.
So, Bears, what have you been playing?
I have been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but I've also jumped on Tetris, the new Tetris that released for the Xbox. And I'm actually having a lot of fun with it. The multiplayer is great. You can 1v1 each other, or you can all team together, 3 of you against a boss, or 4 of you, and then one of you, like a private game, one of you is the boss, and you have to defeat the boss. He's got like abilities, and you all just play Tetris. It's pretty fun. I'd check it out and not just think about it's just Tetris, because it is actually quite fun. I was taking the mick out of you, Liam, for telling me to play
check it out. It was me who actually told you to play it, and then when you first played it, you're like, oh, it's just Tetris. So now you're a bit of a fanboy of it. It's a bit amusing to listen to you talking about this. Obviously, with Valhalla, I've been playing a bit of that as well. And I've seen, Jack, you've been playing Valhalla as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been dabbling in Valhalla a bit.
What power are we up to?
Only still in 2030s. Just spent the whole time just literally getting all the points just to synchronize.
Yeah. I
get distracted in it.
Level 100. And I've mostly been going around because I found out that if you go to a blacksmith and have a certain amount of material, you can upgrade your weapons to have like a flawless hammer or a mythical hammer. And each time that it gets more difficult to find those materials. So I've been searching all over the map for little gold.
Yeah, wonder what the gold things were for.
Do you know what I'm talking about when I say that? They're like little gold shiny things on the map. If you find those, some of those can be the materials. So I've been getting as many of them as I can and upgrading all of my gear, and I've completely got hooked to just going around doing that. So I've kind of abandoned the story for a bit. But yeah, that's been quite fun.
I tend to abandon the story as well because I start just because I haven't got a concentration level of an adult. I end up just randomly wandering around trying to find stuff to do. And I came across some of these zealots. Like I think I'm only about power 70. So I'm still in like the first kind of area of Britain. Yeah, all right. I came across a zealot and I'm thinking, oh, only level 90. They're only like 20 power more than me or whatever. Yeah, that were interesting because they're quite difficult. But again, I've sort of picked up the story here and there, but I'm just finding it really interesting. I always like games that are set in Britain because I don't think there's that many of them. Obviously, we had Forza and whatnot, but I always like to see games set in Britain.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But Jack, have you been on anything else?
I've mainly been playing Call of Duty, been hopping in and out, leveling up the guns and everything like that. I've also been playing a fair bit of Hades, actually. I've been enjoying that a lot. It's a lot of Greek mythology and the dungeon crawling aspect and the roguelite. It's an awesome game to play, and been enjoying streaming it as well. Also, been playing some World of Warcraft. Just like, God forgive me, but I've been playing that. Shadowlands have been announced, so I thought I'd jump back in again to see if I enjoy it. However, I don't know if I can get myself back into it because it is a big old grind.
Wow.
Literally. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Wow.
To be fair, you get into these cycles with certain games like this because, like, obviously with Elder Scrolls and Pogo and stuff like that, you like the grindy stuff, don't you?
I don't know what it is about these kind of games, but you know how Halo has that kind of 60-second loop where it's always trying to sort of feed back and give you some sort of reward. I don't know what it is with MMOs and kind of games where you have to grind it out, but it does something for my brain. It keeps me hooked.
I picked up 2 new games this week. I got Football Manager on the Xbox, so that's pretty time consuming. I know Vils has been playing a lot of that as well because we've been because it's so easy to capture and screenshot now. we've been constantly sending each other screenshots of how far we've got into the game. But I mean, it's a bit weird because I'm really big on the Football Manager full fat version on the PC. And there's quite a bit of it stripped out for the console version. And I get like why they do that for obviously ease of access and, you know, because we haven't got mouse and keyboard.
Although you can add a mouse and keyboard
as your main
to the Xbox.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, really. I don't really get why they don't, because obviously my PC is similar spec to my Xbox when you look at it, because I've got a gaming laptop. And that runs Football Manager fine. Do you know, all the leagues, all the databases and stuff. So I don't get why they have to strip it out as much, especially on the newer Xbox.
Must be more of a game dev kind of thing more than a hardware limitation, because the 2013 Xbox can do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, even the 2013 Xbox could run it. Like, it's not that much of a demanding game. It's just more like how much memory you need. Memory storage, you know, for like the larger databases and stuff. So I just don't get it. But it is what it is. But I've been enjoying it. And then I also picked up that Empire of Sin because I'm a bit of a Mafia fanboy. I like a lot of like Mafia programs like Sopranos and films with gangsters in it and stuff. And I used to play a game called Gangsters on PC. And it's kind of like an XCOM turn-based scenario setting in Chicago during Prohibition.
Boardwalk Empire.
So I picked that up, and I've just got into probably the first 4 or 5 missions on that, and I've been enjoying it. It's a bit clanky in places, but you know, obviously we've all been playing COD because we've been playing that together, but we've been having a lot of issues with it as well, shutting us console down. I think you've had it as bad, Bezz, haven't you?
I've had a couple of freezes and their console shut off. There's not been a problem with it coming back on, thankfully, but it has been a little bit concerning that once the other night had the whole kind of game shut down. So we both our consoles went down at the same time, and we're presuming everybody in that game it happened to as well.
Yeah, it was strange.
I'm assuming it wasn't just a coincidence. It was very strange.
Bezz got disconnected, and I was like, oh crap, here we go. And then the next thing you knew, my console shut down as well. It started off, it was almost like there was a lag switch going on.
Yeah.
Like back in the peer-to-peer days.
I've noticed that. Mine were doing that where, do you know, when on the old like dial-up connections where you used to get a disconnect on COD, and it used to be like an image that comes up on your screen that shows that your phone line's been pulled out. I was actually getting that during game, and I'm thinking, what is going off here? Like, that's not normal for that to be popping up on a game in 2020, surely. But it's been horrendous for me shutting down. Last few times I've turned it on, and I know Vils had a night where he couldn't even play it because it was just, well, on his Twitter he said he just couldn't even get onto it. So they really need to pull the finger out on that and sort it out. I've had freezes and shutdowns, but I've also had that Empire of Sin that's crashed a couple of times where it's took me back to Dash. I know Plant, one of my mates, he's had issues with Watch Dogs where none of his progress has been saving, even though he's like manually saving it. It's just been losing a lot of his progress in Watch Dogs. And even Football Manager's like crapped out on me like
It seems to be more of a software issue then.
It's not actually shut my console down like Black Ops is doing, but it just crashes to Dash. And then obviously you just reload the game. It's not saved any progress because it's another one of those that it only saves like every month of in-game. But that's what you're going to get. As an early adopter, like, you're going to get things like this.
Yeah, if you remember the 2013 Xbox, you couldn't even use party chat. Like, I remember having to snap Skype to the right. So, like, you could actually snap it to the right, and we'd have to have everyone on Skype so we could actually play while we were talking on Skype.
Bloody hell, do you remember that?
Yeah.
Blast from the past.
Yeah. One of my other mates the other day, I think I've had more issues with party chat on the Xbox One than I ever had during the Xbox 360 era. So obviously you think that they progressively get better at something rather than it get worse. But I'm sure I never had that many problems with party chat on Xbox 360. And that were on worse connections during, you know, like I said, it weren't even broadband when 360 first come out. So anyway, we'll move on. Jack, you managed to complete your 12-hour stream which you did very well in for Calm.
Yeah, I did. We done really well. We raised about £700, plus about £90 in gift aid as well, which was amazing. Everyone came out to support. They were there, like some people were there the whole day, and everyone was so generous. And we had big donations. So we had Hook and Partners. They sponsored us. We had people like Play, Catro, Jace, my mates, George and Anna. They were there as well. It was great. Everyone kind of pulled out the stops. It was amazing.
Cool.
And as well as that, Calm even sent a letter back saying, thank you, and they look forward to hearing from us again. So that's great.
I think I saw they've also tweeted you, didn't they, the other day, to say thank you on that, which is good of them. Obviously, we had some epic donations during the stream itself. Obviously, people like Playdom and Jason, some of the other guys that were in there most of the day. So a big thank you to them.
Yeah, K-Tray from Guys' raid came in, dropped 50. That's bonkers as well. But just people being there supporting, like I know that like not everyone could be there the whole time. So like even having friends come in and leave it on as well and share it out to others. Like I had people that said they literally made Twitch accounts to come in and support for the day. So it's great that something like mental health awareness and prevention of suicide is relatable to people, especially in these times.
Yep. Other news this week is finally Cyberpunk seems to be releasing in 4 days from recording this. I hope that's the case, because if they were to delay it again, there might actually be an uprising. But to be fair, a lot of people, there's a lot of hype around this game. I'm certainly hyped for it. Even though, to my detriment, I've still not played The Witcher.
Bloody hell.
I said this before, you can't be surprised. We've talked about it. But, it's a good one for me, Cyberpunk, because this is how geeky I am. But when I was younger, Cyberpunk actually is a role-playing game, which is a text-based role-playing game. So it's a bit like Dungeons and Dragons, which most of the lores come from, I think, because it's definitely akin to the lore that came out of that.
Are we gonna have to fight a big Demogorgon at the end of the game?
No, it's not. It's different lore, Bezz. It's not Dungeons and Dragons, but it's definitely, they've definitely kept to the text on that one. So I was particularly keen when they said that they were going to release it as a video game.
So which backstory are you guys going to choose? Because there's three. There's the street kid, the nomad, and the corpo.
See, I always went nomad. But
really?
If you know the lore as well,
quite like the
like corpo and stuff.
Corpo seems a bit too straight down the line.
Well, it just depends what you're on, because like net running were a big thing. That was a big part of the game. It was really weird how they used to figure it out, on the text side of things. So I'll be interested to see how they do it in the game. Hopefully, net running is a big part of the game, because that was like, it's a bit like an aspect of Watch Dogs. Like where you're trying to get past security systems to get into certain places and whatnot.
A lot of hacking and kind of infiltrating people's systems and stuff. I
think I'm gonna go for Street Kid as it's got the coolest picture on the front.
Looks cool. I want that one.
All right.
which is all that really captures me. The picture looks coolest, so that's the one I'm gonna go for.
It's just Bezz that Oliver. Ooh, pictures. If a book ain't got pictures in it, you don't want to know. So yeah, it's releasing in 4 days, and hopefully by the time we do the next podcast, we'll have some hands on with that. It's a bit awkward, really, because Plant, who I console share with, his wife's ordered it in for Christmas. So we're currently trying to think of ways of. Well, she's ordered it digitally, so I've said to her, just blag her and say like, you can pre-download it and not play it. So I'm hoping he manages to get that one past there.
There's no way he's going to pre-download it and not play it.
Well, no, obviously, but I'm just blagging. But we'll have to see. Moving on to the next thing is obviously we've got Games with Gold coming out again in December. December 1st is the Raven remastered, and Bleed 2, which are the Xbox One games, and then we've got Xbox 360 games, which is Saints Row, Cat Out of Hell or get out of hell even, and stacking. I don't think I've played any of these games, if I'm honest. I don't know if you guys have ever.
I saw Saints Row 3, Get Out of Hell, but it was always just like a bit of like an overtop GTA.
See, I'm a bit, the games with gold. We were on about this before we started recording. Like, I'm not really sure whether Microsoft needs to continue it, because it used to, like, every now and again, you used to get a decent one thrown in there, but it kind of feels like these could just easily be chucked into Games Pass, because most people are more interested in Games Pass, I assume, nowadays than they are with these games with gold. So they could have easily just chucked these 4 into Games Pass and left them there and see who picks them up, because there's none really now that really stand out to me. I don't know if they do.
I think the only difference between Game Pass and games with gold is games with gold, you can actually download it. As long as you download it, it's yours. But Games Pass, if it comes off Games Pass, then it's not yours anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. Like, but there's some games that in Games Pass that have been there for like over a year. Like,
I know, but
there's not many games I've actually started on Games Pass that has come up in the list saying, "Oh, we're going to take it out," and I've had to buy it. Like, I don't think there's any really.
Well, no, because the only ones that would have come down quickly were like GTA, Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
The big ones that you've already bought. You bought when they came out. I think the games with gold are the just ones they're happy to give you. But the Games Pass, they want to tease you with them. But then if they take them off, they can then get you to buy them afterwards. But who knows how long these games stay on Game Pass, because some of them do stay on for ages, and then the things like GTA and Red Dead 2 only stayed on for like a month.
Yeah, true. Overcooked 2, been playing that for over a year, and I've bought every single DLC from it. I'm sure they've probably made more money from doing it like that than just from sending it outright. So it's for them to decide how they're going to get as much from it as possible.
It's like Rage 2 has gone onto Android, so you can play that obviously on xCloud and whatnot. Then we've got Control, Monster Sanctuary, Gang Beasts, which we've had a great time playing before, because I bought the game as soon as it released, because we actually first played it back at EGX. What year was that? 2014, right? That we were kind of begging him, saying, "Oh, is this going to come to Xbox?" And at the time, it were only listed to come on PC and then later PS4. Assetto Corsa, Super Hot, Slime Rancher, and then Greedfall, Call of the Sea, and Haven. And then obviously another big one is Dragon Quest, is it 11?
Yeah, that looks so good.
Finally on Xbox. And then there's a few others for the PC, like Starbound, Unto the End, and Valhalla. But like, again, it's just a nice vary, because there's a lot of games there that ultimately I won't just go out and buy, outright. But because they're on Games Pass, I'll probably give them a go just to see what
exactly.
I think.
Like, you used to have a time when, you'd have to buy like a 50 quid game, go down to Game Station or Game or Tesco or whatever, and then you'd have to then play it and then decide whether you liked it. But now you have all these games on Game Pass. You can literally like download them, within minutes and be playing it, and then from there you might discover some like a type of game that you absolutely love.
Yeah,
it's a great way to discover new franchises. No way I would have picked up Overcooked.
Yeah,
if you've got any space left.
So yeah, that is another thing. But like, it's proper messing with my OCD, because, like I disclosed in the previous podcast, because I like to start a game and finish it before I start a new one, which Banzi said I was a psycho for doing things like that. But I do like to get through a game and feel like I've taken it as far as I can, to completion. I'm a bit of an achievement whore as well, like trying to get as much out of the game as possible.
Achievement hunter. It's not achievement whore.
Oh yeah. Yeah, achievement whore.
That's your new name.
The thing is, like, I do feel like, because now they're on Games Pass, it's so easy just to flick between titles, and I found myself picking up games in between others. But I do like Valhalla, for instance. There's a lot of time to be given to that game, and because obviously I'm a dad and I've got a job and I've got the kids to sort out when I finish work and stuff like that, when you finally sit down at night, you need at least like an hour minimum to feel like that you've actually got further in a game like Valhalla. So when you work that out over the course of a week, you're like 7 days, 7 hours. You're only 7 hours into a game that ultimately you could play easily 100 hours of. So I do prefer to like try and finish a game, but it's just impossible, man. Like
You just stop pissing about on Fortnite then.
Yeah, I only play that now and again. It's all right for me. Says you anyway. You've been on it, so you can't say anything.
Fair enough.
Need to get started on Fortnite. Got the season pass and just need to get going.
They got me with the whole Mandalorian because I've been watching the Mandalorian, and I love it. I think it's fantastic. And then I saw the Mandalorian's on the first unlock for the Battle Pass on Fortnite, and I thought, oh god, they've got me. They finally found a thing that will get me into Fortnite. So we've been grinding out all the missions and the quests that it gives you to unlock all of the Beskar armor. It's not a game that I think I'd play that much, but it is fun to jump in and jump out.
I like Fortnite without the building. Like just like the battle royals. I can't do the building. Like there's people on it that are insane at building on it, and I just hate it. Like I know there's other people that like say, oh well, that's all point of Fortnite because that's what makes it different. I get that, but I can't stand the building aspect of it. I just prefer to just play it like a normal battle royale. But yeah, apart from, I mean, going off Fortnite, like Control back on the Games Pass thing, that was a big one this month. And it's another game I haven't played, so I will play that. Because I've still got Watch Dogs as well. So it's just making my mind explode, really, just thinking about it. Moving on from Games Pass, we've also... Sorry, I'm going to flip it notes here. Well, we were going to talk about what we've been watching. Bezz, spoiler alert, has already said he's watched Mandalorian. I don't think there's anything that I've particularly picked up on this week. I've been watching terrestrial TV for the first time in God knows how long. Some of the shows on there, like, it's really sad this, but get into My Kitchen Rules. I don't know if you guys have ever watched that program.
God, what have you become?
I don't know what's happened to me. I've started watching it and now I'm hooked on it, and I'm like, I really need to get out more because, like, this is just proper midlife crisis viewing material. So I found myself watching My Kitchen Rules, and then there's a lot of good things, you know, like 24 Hours in Police Custody. I've been watching a fair bit of that and stuff in between. But like I said, my wife sits there watching all the other stuff. Like I'm a Celeb, and I just end up zoning out. I just can't. I can't watch stuff like that.
You'll be watching Antique Roadshow soon.
No, I don't watch that. Not Songs of Praise either. I'm not going down that path just yet.
You never on a bit of that.
But yeah, I ain't really seen too much.
I've been watching. Oh, because it's coming up to Christmas now. It's a Christmas film, so I've been watching Krampus, and it's basically what happens when you lose faith in Christmas. So rather than coming around and saying, you should be getting along, you need to remember what Christmas is about, he comes along and kills everyone.
Well, I don't need to watch that now, Jack. Thanks for that. My kids are just mad on Christmas movies now. They watch Home Alone. Like, they've been watching that and just laughing their head off about Home Alone 1 and 2.
You don't need to go any further. Don't need to watch number 3.
No, definitely not. I have seen 3.
It doesn't matter when you're a kid, though. The bad movies are kind of a bit more memorable when they're terrible.
Yeah. Do you know, though, the stuff that I used to watch when I was their age, and when you watch it now, as an adult, when you look at it, you think, wow, this is a bit freaky. But kids don't mind it because they don't overthink stuff. So, like Labyrinth with David Bowie in it and stuff like that, you know, it's literally somebody kidnapping a baby, trying to keep them forever. And then you've got all these like goblins and stuff that are a little bit freaky at times. And as an adult, you're watching it thinking, should my kids be watching this? And they're loving it like I did when I was a kid. Like Dark Crystal. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. That is like really, really weird. Like you could easily get nightmares as a kid watching it, but they don't seem to overthink stuff.
The one thing that creeps me out is what that I remember from when I was a kid. Do you know Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the candy man?
No, you mean the child catcher?
Do you know the guy with child catcher, but he disguised himself as a I've got lots of candy.
Yeah. That weird.
Creeped me out. That was really creepy.
Yeah, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang as well. Like my kids watched that recently, and they just don't see the harm in, not the harm, but like the hidden agenda in some films. And you think to yourself, as a kid watching it, I were fine, but as an adult watching it, I'm thinking, I don't know if my kid should really be watching this. But like, he's obsessed with Jurassic Park now as well, so I've had to sit and watch that
so
300 times. Obviously, fast forwarding through the bits where he gets eaten off the toilet and stuff like that. But yeah, but it's for Bezz. Like, I can't really show him that part of the film. It's a bit much. What I didn't know though the other day was I was watching something on either Netflix or Sky. But when a film ends and it starts a new movie, I was in the kitchen doing the pots, and I heard my daughter screaming. And as I ran in, there was an advert for It on the television. So they were like, properly disturbed them because it weren't a nice trailer for It either. It was one of the bad ones. So bad dad moment.
The bad ones.
Yeah, like like where it's got a lot of like action in it, where it's showing you certain scary moments from the film. Just sort of like laughing at the first bit where there's like just a clown with balloons, and then it just got weirder and weirder, and then eventually she started screaming. That's when I heard her, so I had to go and turn the telly off pretty quick.
It's not good that you can see adverts like that, like because anybody could be watching, really, couldn't they?
It's kind of my fault because obviously if you're watching it on the signed in as an adult, then it'll show you adverts for anything. Whereas if you're on the kids version, obviously it doesn't show you that. So it's my fault, really. But It as well. The original, I can remember seeing that when I was, I don't know, about 14. And I can remember thinking, wow, I was shit scared of it. Whereas like if you watch it now, it's almost like a comedy because it's just not scary at all. And I don't even find the new one scary. And I don't particularly like horror films.
The new one that gets me is the Grudge or The Ring. Anything with those girls with the hair over their face, it proper scares me. My sister accidentally does it. She stood at the top of the stairs with her hair down in front of her face, and I literally shit myself. Like, for some reason, it triggers something inside me, and I freeze with terror. It's the only thing that I'm like proper scared of. The new one came out, was putting all the adverts on YouTube, and I'd like be clicking the skip, like skip, because I just don't want to look at it.
Yeah. Apparently, Sinister's a bad one. Sinister's supposed to be really bad, but I won't watch it. I refuse to watch it. So my missus tried to watch it in the daytime on her own, and she got about 10 minutes in and had to turn it off. So it must be bad because my missus is all right with horror films. So I don't know. I definitely won't be watching that one.
So Microsoft will reportedly be making an announcement at the Game Awards next week. It's according to a prominent game journalist, Jeff Grubb. He's made a claim during a video stream on Friday, but he didn't want to sort of share any further details. So looks like it's going to be an announcement for now, and then we'll just wait later in the week on December the 10th to see what that will be.
I think because of the climate we're in with COVID and whatnot, everybody's terrified of announcing something as definite because, obviously like with Cyberpunk and that, they got a ton of hate because they had to keep pushing the game back. So it's easier now just to say, we're going to do this, but we don't know when we're going to do it, just so people don't have any expectations on when things are supposed to happen. Because I know a lot of people got nervous about the launch of the consoles, and you can kind of guess why, which is why there's no stock anywhere at the moment, because they were scared about, how many actually got manufactured. And we were lucky enough, obviously, to get the first wave, but they're so far behind in demand that, again, people have just got to be patient with what's going on at the moment. Like we talked about it last time, I think, but the only difference I'm seeing at the minute is obviously frame rates. When you're playing something in 60 frames compared to playing it in 30, I do see a difference in that, which I didn't think I would to the degree that I do see it. But definitely playing like COD and whatnot, when you go back and play it on an Xbox One, it's like night and day. It feels really fast. Another thing you're going to be worried about as well, because of the lack of consoles out there, are these scalpers. Because I know, Bezz, you were about, but it's CEX. They're trying to rip people off now.
Yeah, they've been putting sort of £400 odd on top of retail price of the Xbox. the Xbox Series X and S, I believe, and also the other consoles. But I can't imagine why. There's not a bundle, but apparently a lot of people are boycotting, and nobody's very happy about it.
Well, I just wouldn't. I wouldn't give them time of day. Like where it Curry's or PC World or something, they try to rip people off and all. Like they're basically touting it for £1,000.
Yeah, so the Xbox Series X is actually going for 690 quid at the moment, just by itself. That's a couple £100 over. So they've obviously put that down since the £800. And PlayStation 5, they're selling for £815 at the moment as well. Ridiculous.
I mean, why would you pay that though? I know, like, you really want to go to the next gen game and stuff, but like, surely you won't be that desperate. Surely, 400 quid more than what it's worth. Like, what's the point? You may as well just wait on you. Like, they're not missing out on so much that you're going to get £400 difference with. Do you know what I mean? I did see a good one the other day where somebody on Facebook and they'd managed to trap a scalper, basically saying, "How much do you want for it?" He's like, "I want £1,000." He's like, "I'll give you 900 cash." And he was like, No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. He's like, "Right, I've got £900 here in my flat ready to go." He's like, "Okay." He's like, "I'll send it to you." He's like, "No, I want you to deliver it to me for 900 quid. And I want to see it." Like, you know, because obviously what's been going off with people putting bricks in boxes and people selling pictures of like Xboxes and PlayStations on eBay.
People are desperate.
So it finally got this guy to come out in his car with his PS5. And you can see the Facebook messages between them. And he's like, "Right, I'm here, I'm outside your building." He's like, "Right, look up. It's at the 3rd floor." And he's like, "3rd floor? It's a construction site." He's like, "Yeah, I'm one of the builders on here and I've already got a PlayStation, jog on, dickhead." So like they've got a picture of him in his car with his PlayStation 5 in front seat. And they were just basically taking the piss out of him. So he drove like 20 miles to sell it this PS5 for 900 quid. And it was just a load of builders, basically taking the piss out of him. So
I love
yeah,
that.
Calm
That's so funny.
was a bitch.
It's happening a lot. People winding them up, and I think it's
they
great.
get what they
They
deserve.
deserve what they get. Yeah, 100%.
So thanks for joining us here on MADCAST episode 4. If you did like the video, if you could please like and subscribe down below. Obviously, if you're listening to this on Spotify or on Anchor FM, you can also get notifications for the next time that we upload one. And thanks for checking us out.
Bye.
See ya.